We're recording.
Awesome. Welcome, guys, to Freedom Friday.
We're recording.
We apologize. We're starting a little late today on Freedom Friday, but if you're watching the recording, it doesn't make any difference to you. Today, our intention, myself, Heidi Burkemper, some of the other leaders in Isagenix, our intention is to make sure that you are crystal clear on the part of the global compensation plan that's really like the meat and potatoes. It's really the main thing that you're driven to build a network marketing business for, and it's called residual income. And in Isagenix, the way we build that is through something called cycles. Our commission is tied to how much we cycle. So we're gonna do a quick explanation of this. We're going to send you to the right resources so that you can be able to duplicate that in your organization as you see, your organization is you. And then you have to teach the person next to you before you can have a global network. So the fact that you join us on Fridays and you're taking responsibility to learn, it's amazing, you guys. This is what it's all about. It's amazing. So thank you so much for being here. If you get, again, this is a lot to get. So even if each time you're just picking up little bits and pieces along the way. First week we went over PIBs. The second week we went over rank advancements. Last week, I can't even remember. What did we do last week, Heidi? PIBs, rank advancements, and last week we did placement in the tree and why we're building one side first. And we call that tree placement. Right. If you'd like to see any of those strategies, you're going to look on the 10th of the February. Heidi was just there on the calendar. And you can go back because the recordings are right where the date that you missed, that's right where they are. So if you miss PIBs or you miss rank advancements or you missed placement strategy, you would go right to those dates. So today's topic is cycles. And we're going to dive into what is a cycle. So Heidi, if you would be so kind to just put back up the team compensation, just the text, and then we'll certainly put up some examples.
Absolutely, guys. And again, and this is so cool, guys, because like I said, everything's contained through a link in these calendars. It's organized for you so you can go back and really learn the ins and outs and the brass tacks of this compensation plan.
Okay, so here we go. The biggest, the one that we want you to really get comfortable with is what is your BV, your business volume. And in Isagenix, every single product, and I don't have a product here because I have like 5 products in here, each product has a business volume associated with it. So our shakes have every product that we have, the 60 some odd products have BV. Various amounts of BV, which you'll see is relevant to the actual price of that product. So the more product that leaves Isagenix is the more BV volume that you will accumulate in your bank. Every single product has a BV volume. And if you look in your catalog or you're looking online, you'll see next to everything, it'll say, what is the BV? For example, Ionic Supreme is 32 BV. Like, is it $32 or it's 32 BV? I don't even know. I honestly, you guys, I don't even know this because that's not what's so important. I think it's $32. It's not 32 BV. We want to stay active and we want people to remember that you need 100 BV to stay active every 30 days. However, if you're on a Freedom Friday call and you're building a business with us and you want to do what we're going to teach you, which is cycle, you want to drop back your auto ship, and this is kind of a little sidebar, but it's very relevant. You want to drop back your auto ship to 28 days. Okay, you guys? So just know that your auto ship should be set for 28. And the reason for that, in a quick explanation, is that because we need to stay active, every 30 days we need 100 BV. Isogenics, that's what their requirement is. However, in the rule book, it's kind of the legal getting around the rules, but legally, they will allow you to keep your 100 BV for yourself in your own bank, and they won't take it for the house as long as you're under the 29 days, okay? So if you're building a business and cycling matters to you, even if you're just brand new and you're just gonna do your U+2 and you just have you plus your first 2 people, but you're gonna stay on the products for healthy aging, you're gonna stay on the products for lifestyle, would every 9 months, essentially 900 business volume would be an additional cycle for yourself. Okay, so let's talk about how that really happens and what does that really look like. So you'll see all the definitions here. I don't need to read to you. You've got your qualifying volume, your personal volume, your group volume. Okay, I need to like change the landscaper because he's blowing right next to my window. Hold on. Sorry guys, the lanai door was open. Okay, I know it's still loud. Okay, now they're all shut. Sorry about that. And we have this definition called qualifying order. We want to make sure, I'll never forget, when I signed up April O'Leary, who many of you know is an executive direct to me on my team, she wanted Ionic Supreme because I kept calling it my Mommy Wonder Woman juice, and she wanted greens. She didn't want anything else. And I looked at her and I said, oh, that's not a qualifying order. And she looked at me and she was like, why do I care? But I was so used to just, you know, having people have that in their head that 100 BV would be a qualifying order. You know, a couple weeks later, she jumped on a 30-day program. And then, of course, as you see on the chart down towards the bottom that Heidi's got up, our 30-day system qualifies people with 164 BV, business volume. So you see, every single thing we do contains business volume. Single products, and when they bundle them together, obviously, you'll see the BV is going up. If you go from a 30-day at 164, you go down to a value pack, and you'll see that it's 320. If we go from a value pack down to a business builder, which we've now renamed the ultimate pack, we've got 640 business volume. This is chunky and amazing. We want to get comfortable selling the business builder packs and the value of giving a whole family isogenics for their whole kitchen. So that's a whole nother discussion we don't need to do on Freedom Friday. So you guys get it. Every product has a business volume. Every bundle of products has a bigger business volume. And now, of course, this kind of backtracks, right? And you know that if you're doing 2 packs in 1 week, we're going to get the doubles. And what Heidi's got in the center column of the page is actually those PIBs. Remember, those was from our first week. So let's really dig in here and get to what is really how we're moving product when we do the U+2. So at first, we just have U, okay? When you have your U+2, you can see in the darker green where Heidi's cursor is, we've got your 2 people. And it would be interesting, it would be easier for me if everything was a round number, but it's not a round number. So the 164s and adding them up. So let's just use those 320s because it's a little easier to do the math with the 320s. So if I enroll with a value pack, okay, and I have 320 in my bank, and I've got my dark green person on the right and my dark green person on the left, they also enroll with those value packs, so they each have 320. That business volume, the BV, and if you log in your back office and you hit Team View My Team, so everybody on this, Zoom here, you all can do this and you can kind of follow along with what I'm saying. If you're on your own computer or you're on your device and you've got a laptop next to you, you can look and see the Team View My Team. The very second section is your business volume summary, okay? and it's going to have your calculations on a minute by minute basis. This is in real time, all day long, day in, day out. So the minute I enroll those two people, one on the left, one on the right, where Heidi had the cursor of so the minute I enroll Ted and Pam, and I have 320 underneath both, that rolls up. And when you see team view my team on the BV summary, all of a sudden that is going to show in your bank. Now, in that summary section also, towards the left, you're going to have your cycling column. And every time your team is going to create 900 business volume, we're going to create a cycle. However, most companies, and obviously Isagenix included, they protect themselves by creating rules that reward people who are really working and active to make the commission, right? We don't want to create a situation where somebody gets lucky, or somebody just gets, the good spot, or somebody, is going to think that they're going to ride someone else's volume. We don't allow for that. We don't really have that here. What we have is a complete system of teamwork where the business volume that you create by doing your U+2, Isagenix allows you and your bank to collect all of the business volume from everyone else now underneath you who's come into the organization. So even if you didn't sponsor Ted and Tim and Ben, the business volume from those orders, whether they're 164 for a 30-day, whether they're 320 for a value pack, whether they're 640 on the big packages, that's going to roll up to your left bank. Even if you only sponsor Pam and you did not sponsor Sue and Kim and Ann, the business volume from Sue and Ann and Kim is rolling up on the right side into your bank. You've only done U+2, Ted and Pam. However, in this business, and we're going to get to the 600 and the 300, and we're going to get to all of that stuff. But what I want you to conceptualize in a big picture of building a global consumer network, you guys, is that Ken and Tim and Ben and Sue and Kim and Ann, these people become part of your global consumer network. The business volume that they are putting into the tree through their initial order and their reorders, their auto ships, they ran out of something, they just need something. That business volume is going to, you're collecting that, and you are able to create cycles for yourself because they're consuming our products. Okay, so this is where you have that big light bulb moment, because this is where we talk about leverage. I've done U+2, but let's count how many people am I getting paid on. I'm getting paid on my left, Ken and Tim and Ben and Mia and Lee. So I'm getting paid on 5 other people. And I hate that phrase. We need to think of a better phrase. It's like, I'm not getting paid on them. I'm collecting volume from them consuming our product. So it kind of sounds a little nicer. And on my right side, I've only introduced the product to Pam and helped her get going and get started and get some great results. However, that's one. I am getting volume from 3 extra people. So in my total organization, right, I've enrolled 2, and in my example right here with you, I'm getting paid on an additional 8. So think about this in the real world. If you're working a job that has an hourly wage, I would like to work 2 hours and get paid on 8 hours. Wouldn't that be great? Most people don't quite understand that's what we're doing here. But most people will just understand the trading time for money. So it's going to take you guys explaining this to people, showing it to people, completely legal. You have helped 2 people. Now you're getting paid on 10. You guys understanding this leverageability, right? And that's why we hear people that are ISA millionaires. So let's use Angela Maresca, for example. Well, or I mean, I guess, you know, she's not the best example because I don't know the answer. And maybe Heidi, you know the answer. But if I had to guess, or let's use Lisa DeMayo. Lisa DeMayo has personally enrolled in the tree about 600 people. And she's earning 7 figures a year, per year, more than $100,000 per month. There's 30 days in the month. Divide 100,000 by 30. You can see if she wakes up in the morning, how much money did she make? Okay? That is Freedom Friday, what we're all about here. But what is interesting is that her organization as a global consumer network has grown to 60,000, 70,000, somewhere around there. Heidi, do you know the exact?
You know what? I don't, but this is what's so amazing. I remember Paul, when they looked at this compensation plan, saying, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Someone you introduce, who introduces it to somebody else, who introduces it to somebody else, who introduces it to somebody else, who introduces it to somebody from the United Kingdom, who ends up blowing it out and going, rippling through Europe. That all flows up. So that's why, yeah, that's the big picture. And we're building an income producing asset with this compensation plan.
Okay, do we have a visual, Heidi, or would you like to put up maybe even just a plain old spreadsheet, and let's just calculate some 300s and 600s and 300s and 600s, and you can just do some simple math.
Okay, this might work. Oh.
That's an awesome visual of geometric progression. Wow, I love that.
Yeah. So you guys, would it be helpful for me to put these on the calendar, have these links here, because this is just some really great information. And I wanted to let you guys know this.
Heidi, they're saying yes, please.
Okay, I will do that. And you know what? This, I remember when I first got into Isagenix, I probably read this 20 times. This is something, you guys, that just read it over and over again, paired with Jim Cooper's compensation plan video, and you will begin to really digest the intricacies of this compensation plan. So I will do that. Okay, let me try to find, Danielle, something that we can kind of look at the 600, 300.
Yeah, or you could potentially just put.
Here we go. This is good.
Okay, there we go. Perfect. So
Oops,
you guys, that's a good visual, Heidi.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, again, you understand that in real time and in real life, we're doing more than this, because in this little example, they're just trying to keep the numbers round and they're using small numbers. Okay, so if we're looking at the U+2 with Ted and Pam, I'm coming in with 100 business volume, and my friend Pam is my first on my right, my friend Ted is the first on the left, and they also come in with 100 business volume. Again, guys, this is just for illustration purposes. This isn't even really kind of real life, because we're doing a lot more than that. So now we have a total of 300, okay? We can't cycle until either the right side equals 300 and the left side equals 600, or vice versa. So you could have 600 created on the left, the right, and then 300 on the right. Either way, the computer all day long, 24 hours a day, every second of the day, is calculating how much business volume is coming up on your right and your left. And the minute it has the ability to grab 300 from one side, 600 from the other, it's going to smash it together, and it's going to kick out $54 in a cycle of 900. The reason we get to 54 is that we get paid a 6% unlimited commission on the depth. And if you just take a regular calculator and you put 600 times 6% of 900, mathematically you get to 54. So you're thinking about, if I say, wow, I'm gonna, enroll my neighbor Pam and my cousin Ted, and they're each doing 100 BV, and I'm getting paid 6%. It's what, $6? If we're using just a round number example, $6 on Ted, like, okay, that doesn't really seem like a hell of a lot of money. That doesn't really seem worth it. But if I told you, but that's just those two, you're going to get paid 6% on all of the UK, and when they go into Austria, and when Austrians go to the Netherlands, and when somebody in the Netherlands goes into Germany, you're going to get paid 6%. Doesn't matter if it's 100 people away from you. Doesn't matter if it's 5 people away from you. Doesn't matter if it's thousands of people away from you. And if you remember me telling you, again, big picture, guys, when I first saw Jimmy Smith, he kept explaining to us in my first presentation that I saw him, you're thinking of those right and those left legs running down the train tracks like giant freight engines, and you can never stop them. So in the beginning of this business, which is big time, sweat, equity, you want to get good at the skill set of enrolling. That is your biggest skill set. You want to enroll. That is the only thing you have control over. Because as you enroll, you're putting more business volume in your tree, whether it's 300 or 600, whether it's 600, 300. You are helping yourself create cycles. And in Isagenix, for those of you who are really engaged in 10 to the top, I want you also to realize you personally can hustle with the muscle. You can get 5 cycle bonus. You could get 10 cycle bonus. You could even get your 2-star 20 cycles pretty much by yourself, working like crazy. But if you think you're going to build a network that you really see the vision, you are looking for leaders that are also going to add business volume into the tree. And that's how you're going to get 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. So what I'm saying is that you've got it. It's like this business is you go first. You're going to create your first cycle. Okay? You are responsible for creating your first cycle, and we want to celebrate every single cycle. That's a huge deal, because what Heidi just had on the screen, you guys, is that if I can get one person to cycle and they cycle once a week, $54 times 4 weeks in the month that's 200 plus. They've now paid for their products. The more people I could teach to pay for their products, the better it is. They can duplicate that and teach people how to pay for their products, because it was pretty simple. I just got my 2 accountability partners. I didn't run around town asking 1 million people to join my business, right? Like a crazy person. But I had a lot of personal enrollments. Get accountability partners, get your accountability partners, get your accountability partners. At some point when you sit with some of those people and you show them some of the things we're showing you, somebody's going to be like, oh my God, I work and I get paid my hourly wage. What you're telling me is I could work 2 hours and get paid on 8 hours? I'm all in. How do I do this? You can't be afraid to talk about these things, you guys, because that's what we are offering here. So most of you on here are working towards your Crystal Manager VSET, building some new consultants, brand new, fresh consultants underneath you. You want to grab that 5 cycle bonus, okay? So that's the first time you cycle 5 times in 1 week. What's deceiving about this image on the screen is that that's the bonus, that's not the cycles. So you're getting paid the cycles on top of that $250, guys. So, right, 5 cycles times 54 is 270. Yes, no, somewhere around there, plus the 250. Got it, guys? So that's it's a $500 plus week. In addition to that, you've probably enrolled people. So you've got PIBs, which may bring you up to $600 or $700. That's a lot of money, you guys, for people. A lot of money to make an extra $600 or $700 that week. So you want to grab people when they start to understand this concept. Remember, go back to our very first week, or maybe we talked about it in our second week. Eric Worre shared a statistic called Moneyball that he does in his presentations. If you can help a person earn between $1 and $50 in their first 6 months, your retention rate skyrockets to like a crazy number, like 80%. Because that person, even if you help them make $25 or that $54 one cycle, really getting obsessed with getting your people paid. And a couple years ago, Heidi and I witnessed Lynn Hagedorn and Kathy Savage, and that's still an old classic on YouTube with her red blazer, doing a big presentation called Get Paid and Get Your People Paid. And they did such a great job with that. I mean, there's been reincarnation since. But you can understand that for the past few years, Lynn Hagedorn has been obsessed with helping people get paid, and that's why she's number one in the company. Because when you can show people, if you have a job and you're exhausted, put the products in your body. You put the products in your body and you feel a little better, let's help you find the accountability partners. If you found the accountability partners and you got the double PIBs or even single PIBs, and I'm going to help you understand what a cycle is, a whole new world opens up, you guys. A whole new world opens up, and one cycle per week creates $2,800 for a family. If we take that chart back, Heidi, and we do, what does 5 cycles a week or 10 cycles a week create for a family? Then you're really at a part-time income. You're at about $28,000. And depending on your bonuses. Now, Heidi, you can kind of jump in here. Why don't you jump in and talk about, in addition to your cycling the 10 times and the 15 times and the 20 times as we were growing when we were brand new executives, in addition to the numbers that you see in the final column, Heidi made an additional third. Go ahead, Heidi.
Yeah, I just think if you guys want this, go get it. And when I started this, and you can start, maybe you've been with Isagenix for 3 or 4 years. You can start today. Today's a new day, and get to executive. And like Danielle said, I mean, this was really compelling. I was at Top Achievers my second year in Isagenix, and I met with one of the guys, a corporate, and he was looking at my business and he said, Heidi, you're a third of your income. Now, I at that time was right here, 40 cycles a week, okay, a 3-star. But I made over $150,000. Over a third of my income was because I was executive. So, the cycle portion is such a critical, and it's basically the residual component of our compensation plan. But there's way more to open up the entire compensation plan, get to executive, max out the compensation plan, hit those benchmarks for the 5-cycle bonus, the 10-cycle bonus, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. And you'll do that as a byproduct of how many times you share the story, and the number only, the box is only big enough for a number. I love that. I mean, it really comes down to that. As Danielle said, go ahead.
The other thing I was going to say, Heidi, when it comes to that is, like, I think it's mentality for people to understand. If you keep that where it was, is that if you could cycle 1 time, you can cycle 2. If you can cycle 2, you can cycle 5. Because the job never gets harder, you guys. We keep doing the same job. It's us as the variable. We keep getting better. And so if you could cycle 5, you can certainly cycle 10. If you could cycle 10, you could cycle 20. You can cycle 20, you cycle 30. If you're stuck at a plateau and you can't get, I'm going to pick on Brant, can't get the 5-cycle bonus because we're trying, it just means we have to do something differently. We have to do it on a week where we're doing, a new shake flavor. We're going to get to a week where your auto ship is in your favor, Brant, versus not in your favor. So there's other tricks to understanding as you build out your global consumer network, even if it's just you and you only have 5 people. If all 5 of those people have auto ship in the same week, that's going to help you get more of the 900 you need to get up to that 5-cycle bonus. So there's some strategies that we can use to help you guys understand that. But what you want to realize is that if you could cycle 5, you could cycle 10. If you could cycle 10, you could cycle 20. You can cycle 20 and you can attract a couple more people that look at the 20, you guys, is a couple more people that might be okay with an extra 50 grand a year in a very passive part-time attention. This does not have to be a full-time, it's consuming you 100 hours a week. This can be done in the nooks and crannies of regular life. You can find a few more people that think 50 grand a year is a great extra. You're gonna jump from 20 up to 40. You're gonna jump to 50 cycles. And if you find a couple more people that think that earning the 50 grand a year extra or $100,000 a year extra as my freedom money might be a good idea, and you're attracting that kind of person, you're gonna jump up to the 150, 200, 250. And am I saying that it's easy? By all means, it's not easy. If it was, Heidi and I would have been at 250, last year. We are still attracting people who think like us. But the cool thing about this is we're all doing it together, flooding this tree with business volume on the way. That she's getting paid, I'm getting paid, Mark's getting paid, Steven's getting paid, Lisa's getting paid. The business volume is helping, is helping the tree. When you hit 250, and what's so incredible, you guys, is that you see those numbers. 250 cycles is $700,000. But what's crazier is the thing that Heidi said that you might be missing. They will allow you a 10% matching bonus. Okay, you guys? You see that over there. That means that on the people you've personally enrolled, as they're cycling, in addition to that 700, in addition to that 250, you're getting 10% of your leaders for helping them become leaders, for keeping them at leaders, for growing them in leadership. So first, you go first. You get the first cycle. You get the 5 cycles, the 10 cycles, the 20 cycles. Now you're attracting other people who think this is a good idea. Then you're all working together as a team, flooding this business volume into the tree. 600, 300, 300, 600. And if you do it fast and you stay in momentum as a team, Heidi and I have seen people go from 40 to 100 cycles. We've seen people go from the 100 to 150, and you're like, oh my God, how did that happen? Because now I have 10 people all trying to get to 1-star or 2-star. Okay, guys, does this make sense? And if you're like, my God, I didn't even do my U+2 yet, just get excited and show people this and sit down with them. Because the more people you show, statistically, somebody's going to say, holy crap, okay, I'm not even hearing you. What do I have to do to make that $56,000 a year? I hate my job. I hate my boss. I hate my life. You've got to get yourself in situations where you could explain this to someone, even if you don't know what you're talking about, and you have to get one of us to help you. Because if somebody showed this to me and showed me those numbers on the screen, I'm like, yes, 100%. Show me what I need to do.
And I just want to interject one thing. Get on the calls and listen again to the call last week with Lisa DeMeo and Kathy Cooper. You guys, they paint such an enormous vision. And that really is what this is about, is, the steps we take to get into $700,000 a year. There's lots of steps. There's lots of coffee meetings. There's lots of phone calls. There's lots of Zoom calls. But you know what? Paint and cast that vision. When I listened to Kathy and Lisa, weren't you just like, I was just like, I want to re-enroll again. I want to re-enroll again. And what I really came away from that call with was, I've got to cast a bigger vision, because this is so freaking big. And I say this a lot, but people search their entire lives for a vehicle like this and never find it. And you have got to share this and share this with passion. And, I was in a kind of I was so frustrated yesterday. I talked to so many people and no one's enrolling. Today I have 3 people enrolling. It's like, you know what, don't get as many no's as you can, get as many not nows as you can. And it's so interesting, like, it's kind of like raising kids. Like, I remember going, I can't do this one more day, I can't change another diaper. And all of a sudden your kid gets in a really good stage. And that's how this business is. Just when you're like so frustrated and I can't do this anymore, your business takes a turn for the better. And so push through those challenges, cast a huge vision. And this is so possible and probable for all of us due to the timing and positioning of this company, this team, the science, and these products. So that's, I'm going to shut up.
Well, I just want people to realize, you guys, what you're looking at here when you get to 250 cycles, and I know, you know, so often we learned at NYKO, or our opportunity at NYKO was to understand really how to step up your game, step up your mindset. If you know, if you can believe it, you can achieve it, right? So, you know, when you're at one cycle, it seems very far to 250, but you've got to have the mindset that if you could do 1, you could do 5. If you could do 5, you could do 10. If you could do 10, you could do 20. And the faster you squish that activity together and you step up your game, the faster this is going to happen. And don't let the frustration creep in, because we all have it. April was like, oh my God, I'm on a dry spell. She signed up 4 people 1 week, 4 people last week. She's like the highest enroller. Her and Christina are like neck and neck all day, all week long, like competing with each other. It's crazy. But what's going to happen is, if you can look at this, like, I hate to use the analogy of Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's, but if you can look at Lisa DeMeo or Lynn Hagedorn, they've reached that 250. They're also getting the 10% on their leaders. So their original Dunkin' Donuts franchise is pumping out in excess of 700, could be 800, could be 900. I don't know, because I don't know exactly what that 10% bonus is, okay, you guys? So bear with me here. So you imagine, it's like, okay, I've got a location in Times Square of my Dunkin' Donuts, and that Dunkin' Donuts is cycling 250, plus I'm getting my match. So that's solid. I've got a great location. I've got great people in there. They're pumping out, you know, the work. Now what Isagenix allows us to do is open a brand new Dunkin' Donuts in downtown Miami on the best corner. So you are doing a brand new business center. It never ends. You do a brand new business center, and that second business center, you're able to go from 1 cycle to 5 cycles to 10 cycles. You're attracting all new people, and you're building your second Dunkin' Donuts, the one that's in Miami, right in downtown in the best location. You're building that business center up until it gets to 700,000 or, you know, or greater, because now you're getting 10%. Now Isagenix says, great job, you can do your third. So now you're putting Dunkin' Donuts in downtown LA, and you have a brand new location and a brand shiny spanking new business. And you are going to go from 1 cycle, attracting new people into your organization, and you're gonna work that one until, so you understand now how your first franchise, you have to get good. You have to do it. By the time you're on your second and your third, you're like, done deal. This is super fun. Where are we going? Where are we flying? What are we doing? Who's coming along for the ride? Right? But you guys, it's so sweet once you get to go to Miami, and then you get to go to LA, and now you're going to put one in the middle of Aspen. This is what Warren Lance is doing all over the world, you guys. He's literally putting up these Dunkin' Donuts franchises all over the world with 0 overhead. 0 overhead. No payroll taxes, no, paying, any of that stuff that people with big businesses have to pay that have millions of dollars worth of income. Warren told us a story, and we really should get Warren to do a call for us, Heidi. He was stuck at 100 cycles. He was stuck at around 100. He was earning 250, 300,000 a year. He was stuck, and he literally was going to quit. He was like, does anybody really make $1 million in this business? I just don't believe it anymore. He had that doubt in his mind. And within months, he attracted Michael Colgan. He attracted Michael Klaus. He attracted Lynn Hagedorn. You know the rest of the story. It's history. And his income went from where you see it, second franchise, third franchise, fourth franchise. You get the picture, right, guys?
And
That's all I have to say.
Danielle, do you want to, I might stop the recording and we can open it up for questions. And
Sure,
the
sure.
one other thing I wanted to add, you guys, is as you build and as you become more successful, it becomes easier, you become better, and you actually, if you can think about it like this, the re-entry is just unbelievable because you actually open a business center above yourself. So you're actually, your two legs in your primary business center, your first business center where you've maxed out at 250 cycles per week, becomes one leg. And then instead of earning 6%, you only have to do 300 while your other leg's doing 600 to cycle. So basically you're 18%. So I hope that makes sense. But let's go ahead. I'm going to stop the recording and open it up for questions, and then we'll get to work. Okay.